Today on Inquirer, President Marcos says China has nothing to worry about the additional Edca sites.
Kung wala namang sumusugod sa atin, hindi na sila kailangan mag-alala dahil hindi naman sila natin lalabanan.
COVID-19 positivity rate in Metro Manila increases according to INQUIRER research. Low pressure area enters Philippine area of responsibility and could become the first tropical cyclone to hit the country this year. And oil firms to implement big-time fuel price hike effective Tuesday. Good evening. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says China has nothing to worry about in the expansion of the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement sites or EDCA sites. Daphne Galvez has the report.
President Bongbong Marcos said China has nothing to worry about in the expansion of U.S. troops' access to Philippine military bases if they don't have plans to launch offensive attacks. Marcos assured the 4 additional sites for the U.S.-Philippines Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement will not be used for any offensive actions. These sites, he said, are aimed to boost the country's defense capability and would give the U.S. a chance to extend help especially in disaster situations.
Ngayon, ang reaction ng China ay hindi naman siguro katakataka dahil nag-aalala sila, pero hindi naman gagamitin, hindi tayo papayag ng Pilipinas, hindi tayo papayag na gamitin ang mga bases natin para sa kahit anong offensive na action. Ito ay para lamang tulungan ang Pilipinas kapag nangangailangan ng tulong ang Pilipinas. Kaya kung wala namang sumusugod sa atin, hindi na sila kailangan mag-alala dahil hindi naman sila natin lalabanan. At hindi naman, ang ginagawa lamang natin ay patuloy natin na pinapatibay natin ang depensa ng ating teritoryo, ang pagdepensa ng Republika.
The President issued a statement in response to China's warning that the expansion of EDCA sites is endangering regional peace and stability. Beijing earlier urged Indo-Pacific countries to rethink the grave irreparable consequences of having more U.S. military presence in the region. It specifically warned the Philippines that it could be dragged into the China-Taiwan conflict as it continued to host American troops in military bases close to Taiwan. Malacanang earlier identified 4 new locations considered as suitable and mutually beneficial as additional EDCA sites. These locations are the Naval Base Camilo Ocias in Santa Ana, Cagayan, Lalo Airport in Lalo, Cagayan, Camp Melchus de la Cruz in Gamu, Isabela, and Balabac Island in Palawan. In February, Marcos granted U.S. troops access to 4 more Philippine military camps on top of the 5 existing locations under the EDCA. Filipino and American troops are also scheduled to hold their largest ever military exercise this month. This is Daphne Galvez reporting for INQUIRER.net.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology says only 36.79% of all subscriber SIM cards sold have been registered. The DICT reports that only 62 million SIM cards sold, or 36.79%, have been registered as of April 7. The DICT urges the public to register their SIM cards as the April 26 deadline approaches. Among the 62 million registered SIMs, 4.7 million are from Dito, 26.3 million are from Globe, and 31.1 million are from Smart. INQUIRER research reports that Metro Manila's COVID-19 positivity rate has increased in the previous week. INQUIRER research fellow Guido David says the COVID-19 positivity rate in the National Capital Region increased from 4.4% on April 1 to 6.5% on April 8. David likewise notes that positivity rates are also above 5% in Benguet, Camarines Sur, Cavite, Cebu, Davao del Sur, Isabela, Misamis Oriental, Negros Occidental, Palawan, Rizal, and South Cotabato. Meanwhile, the Department of Health records a total of 1,944 COVID-19 cases during the observance of Holy Week, or from April 3 to 9. The reported COVID-19 cases are slightly higher than the 1,721 infections registered the previous week. Next on Inquirer today. Low pressure area enters Philippine area of responsibility and could become the first tropical cyclone to hit the country this year. 19 individuals remain missing in the Basilan ferry fire incident. And oil firms to implement big-time fuel price hike effective Tuesday. This is Inquirer Today. We'll be back shortly.
Many online freelancers are sharing on social media how much they have been making with their jobs.
Ito, and marami pang success stories. Mas madaming clients, mas maraming earnings. The income is endless. You can earn as much as 6 figures up to millions depending on your effort.
And many are asking, how?
Hi, my name is Princess Riza Bornolia, also known as Ces Bornolias. I am 24 years old. I'm a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering at Batangas State University, batch 2019. Ano ba talaga yung freelancing? Diba? Bakit hype na hype siya? Freelancing is a service-based business wherein you sell your skill sa mga clients natin.
Unlike the usual 9-to-5 job, a freelancer is an independent contractor earning from different types of jobs assigned by a client.
So one of the perks of being an online freelancer is the flexibility. You can work anywhere you want as long as you have the internet and your laptop.
Prior to becoming a full-time online freelancer, Ces pursued a career in industrial engineering.
I'm really looking forward to build a name in industrial engineering industry. Luckily, nagkaroon ako ng work sa isang manufacturing company, but the salary wasn't that enough to sustain my family. So, after a couple of months working sa manufacturing company, I decided na mag-resign. That was January 2020.
Unfortunately, after Ces' resignation came the pandemic.
So, that time, lahat ng na-envision ko, nawala siya lahat. So, ang ginawa ko, nagkaroon ako ng iba't ibang mga racket. Buy and sell, even networking. So, okay naman talagang nagkakaroon ng income sa lahat ng racket. Pero hindi siya sustainable for me. Isip ko na ano kaya yung iba't ibang ways na pwede akong kumita while staying at home. So, I went to YouTube, I typed in how to earn online while staying at home. So, I came across these videos about being virtual assistant. So, pinanood ko lang siya ng pinanood hanggang sabi ko sa sarili ko, I will take a risk dito sa online freelancing. From yung room ko before na tinutulugan, ginawa ko siyang mini home office. So, meron ako doon parang yung laptop ko nung college na medyo sira-sira na. Hindi siya madali, actually, kagaya ng ibang nakikita natin ngayon online. It took me 2 months before I landed my first ever client. I eat rejections in the morning. I think naka-hundreds of applications ako that time. Wala talaga akong nakukuhang client. Dumating naman yung December 31, 2020, 11:11 PM. Meron pa din akong screenshot. Nakakuha ko ng first ever client. Kumbaga may nag-take risk sa akin. After nun, nagsunod-sunod na. Nagkaroon ako ng ibang pang mga clients. Nag-invest ako sa iba't ibang mga courses para ma-improve yung skills ko. Nag-improve ako ng mga setup. Ang kinikita ko before as an engineer is around 13,000. Right now, I would say yung range, since iba-iba talaga siya per month, it ranges around 100k to 250k. And the success that is really fulfilling na na-achieve ko right now is comfortable na yung life ng family ko. Hindi na siya paycheck to paycheck. I have my own property, house and lot. I've been on my first ever international trip last January. I got my own car. I have different investments and businesses.
Despite the very success stories of being a freelancer, there are still risks that come with the career.
Natatempt ako mag-quit sa corporate and mag-start mag-freelancing.
Hindi lahat ng business kumikita na agad in the first few months. In the first month, the first 3 months, ganon. Sometimes, alam mo yun, parang it might take a year a year for a business to even profit, di ba? Kung isipin ng mga tao na, ayun, maganda yung freelancing, resign na lang ako sa job ko sa corporate. So, medyo delikado siya ng ganun. For they resign, ganun, meron ding, nagpe-prepare sila ng savings for months. Times na nauubos pa din siya. Kasi, let's say, closing your first client, may halo din siyang luck eh. Parang, alam mo yun, kung gaano kasipag, tsaka konting luck.
Freelancing is not for everyone. In the corporate side, you have your benefits, stable income, like you would expect your bi-monthly pay every 15th and 30th. In freelancing, hindi. Kung gaano kataas yung pwede mong kitain, pwede ka rin walang kitain per month. So, ang message ko lang right now dun sa mga gustong mag-online freelancing, especially dun sa mga taong palaging nagko-comment ng how, you can start naman doing online freelancing kahit part-time lang on the side. You don't need to resign. Actually, hindi ko kayo ine-encourage na okay, wag na kayo mag-corporate, mag-freelancing kayo. Hindi. Kasi freelancing is a business and challenging talaga siya. You can start by just trying it out on the side.
The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or Pagasa, says that a low-pressure area in the Philippine Area of Responsibility may develop into the first tropical cyclone this year. Joining us today is Pagasa weather specialist Obet Badrina. Sir Obet, what's the latest update on this LPA?
Yes, good afternoon and good afternoon to all our viewers. So the latest update regarding this low-pressure area, actually, it entered the Philippine Area of Responsibility this morning around 2 a.m. and as of 3 p.m., it is located around 750 kilometers east of Borongan City in eastern Samar. Based on our latest data, there's still really a possibility, at least in the next 48 hours, that it will develop into a tropical depression. Like what you've mentioned, it will be the first tropical depression for this year. If ever it will develop into a tropical depression, we will name it Amang. So this low pressure area, whether it become a tropical depression or not, we're expecting that it will affect particularly some areas in Visayas, in the eastern and central Visayas, and it will continue to move west, northwest, and may affect also some areas in Bicol region, Calabarzon area, and also some in the eastern section of Luzon. So that's what we're looking at right now. But in the meantime, major parts or majority or most areas in our country will continue to experience generally fair weather, but expect some isolated rain showers and thunderstorms, particularly some areas in Luzon.
Sir Robert, kailan natin ma-expect itong direktang epekto nitong LPA na ito, which we expect to develop into a tropical depression in the coming days?
Yes, particularly some areas in eastern Visayas, let's say this area in Samar, Leyte, and Biliran area, they're already experiencing the trough or the extension of the low pressure area. But the main effect would be experienced probably around Wednesday to Thursday, particularly again in areas in Bicol region and eastern Visayas, because as of the latest data that we gathered, it is expected to move west-northwest, so that area will be affected.
Sir Obet, another question, no? Siguro our viewers are curious right now, bakit tayo mayroong bagyo right now when we are supposed to be in the dry season already?
Yes, actually last year we experienced the first tropical cyclone around the month also of April, no? If our viewers can still remember, that is the tropical cyclone Agaton. And actually Agaton brought a lot of rains, particularly in eastern Visayas. So actually actually it's also normal, no, to experience a tropical depression, at least one. No? That's what we're experiencing or expecting rather, at least one tropical cyclone for the month of April. And even the track, no, actually it's part of the normal track, which is some parts of the southern Luzon area.
Yung term na tropical depression, Sir Obet, it might be technical pa rin para doon sa mga kababayan natin. So let's talk about impact. once this turns into or develops into a tropical depression, gaano kalakas yung inaasahan nating impact nito sa mga kababayan nating maapektuhan? And are we seeing this storm to make a landfall in the Philippines?
Okay, first though, it's quite difficult to really determine whether it will make a landfall. Although some data actually they're showing that there's a possibility of it to make landfall, but not there. But it will not cross. No, but again, this is still uncertain because again, we're not tracking a tropical cyclone yet. As you've mentioned, when we say tropical depression, it is the first stage, no, or the in terms of the different intensity of tropical cyclone, the tropical depression is the weakest, no? Weakest, yet it can still bring heavy to intense rain, no? That's still a possibility because again, ang definition natin ng tropical cyclone na hindi naman amount of rainfall but rather the intensity of wind. So in terms of the intensity of wind, there's around 50 kilometers per hour or so, no, around that range, no, kapag nasa tropical depression, or at least hanggang signal number 1 yung pwede natin, para mas ma-imagine ng mga kababayan natin, hanggang signal number 1 yung pwede nating ma-raise na signal warning, no, tropical cyclone yung signal warning.
It might be best pa rin para sa ating mga kababayan to still be prepared para dito sa weather disturbance na ito. Maraming salamat. That's Pagasa Weather Specialist Obet Badrina. The Office of Civil Defense says 19 individuals remain missing from the Basilan ferry fire incident. During the Laging Handa briefing on Monday, OCD spokesperson Undersecretary Rafi Alejandro reports that there are still 19 missing individuals from the burnt MV Lady Mary Joy 3. Alejandro says retrieval and recovery operations are in place to find the victims. Alejandro also reports that the death toll is now at 22. To recall, the MV Lady Mary Joy 3 was bound for Sulu from Zamboanga when it caught fire on the night of March 29. Local oil firms will jack up pump prices of gasoline, diesel, and kerosene. Effective tomorrow, April 11, the prices of gasoline will increase by 2 pesos and 60 centavos per liter, while diesel prices will rise by 1 peso and 70 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, the prices of kerosene will increase by 1 peso and 90 centavos per liter. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Hindi ang tipo ng kapamilya Hank na si Gerald Anderson ang madaling sumuko at magpatalo sa mga problema at kanegahan ng buhay. Inamin ni Gerald na tao lang din siya na nasasaktan at naaapektuhan kapag may mga dumarating na pagsubok sa kanyang showbiz career at personal life. Ngunit ayon sa boyfriend ni Julia Barreto, sa mga ganitong pagkakataon mas pinipili niya ang maging positibo at harapin ng punong-puno ng pag-asa ang mga hamon ng buhay. Ayon pa kay Gerald, hanggat maaari ay hindi niya tinatambayan ang mga problema. Hindi rin daw siya umaalis ng bansa para doon palipasin ang kanyang mga nararamdaman. Mas gusto raw niyang harapin na ito agad-agad para matapos na at makapag-move on na ng bonggang-bongga. Dagdag pa ni Gerald, naniniwala siya na ang lahat ng pagsubok ay may katapat na solusyon, kaya huwag na huwag daw mawawala ng pag-asa.
Hindi ko hinahayaan umabot doon. Hindi ko, kung may challenge o may problema, may obstacle na dumadating sa buhay ko, gusto ko sana tapusin na siya agad. Kung hindi ako lumalayo, hindi ako mag-a-abroad o kung ano man yun. Gusto ko lang harapin. Tapos tapusin. Tapos kapag nag-abroad ako, at least ma-enjoy ko. Pero yung tatakas ako, parang hindi. But that's the beauty ng movie namin kasi iba't ibang paraan ang depression or challenges sa buhay. So, ako yung tipong gusto ko lang tapusin agad at para maging maayos at hindi na stressful yung buhay.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil.
Maraming salamat, Irvin, and these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Catch Inquirer today live weekdays at 6 p.m. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.